Okay, so this is a video review of the Bandai Tamashi Nations Marvel Avengers Infinity War Hulk. Now, right off the bat, I can tell you that of all the versions of this character that I've owned, and I've owned a lot across all those lines at 3.5 inch, the 6 inch, Marvel Legends, the Marvel Selects, and all that. This is what I consider definitive version of the movie Hulk, and probably also the definitive version of Hulk himself. Um, so yeah, let's take a look at the box, and then let's take a look at the figure. Okay, so taking a look at the box, he comes in this fairly standard SH Figuarts box. In the front it says Marvel Avengers Infinity War, made by Tamashi Nations Bandai. There's some gold text here. Let's see what it says. Let's put this white piece of paper so we can actually read it. It says SH Figuarts Hulk logo. SH Figuarts is a new standard figure series that incorporates Tamashi Nation's action figure art under the theme pursuing character expression through humanoid action. Very Japanese text. At the side, nice image of the figure in this fairly dynamic pose. Other side, it just says Figuarts Hulk, Avengers Infinity War. At the back, has these three poses of the Hulk. The Avengers logo comes with 3 interchangeable heads. It's very Mark Ruffalo-esque head, angry face, and screaming face. All the text is mostly Japanese except for this one. Simple style and heroic action. At the top it says, SH Figuarts Hulk, and at the bottom, Japanese text that I can't read. Okay. So inside the box, it also gives you this small pamphlet, which basically says Hulk Operations Manual. It contains the figure itself, interchangeable heads and parts, which I'll also show later, and then operation manual. This piece of paper over here. It shows you how to interchange the heads, which is basically just pop it off, pop it on, very easy. Interchangeable hands, pop it on, pop it off. Although I can't fully pop in these two hands. It's not too bad. It still hinges. It still goes in fairly properly. It's just I think these two peg in a lot nicer. And then here it says warning, may rub off. I think the may rub off there is not a warning. It's less a warning, more a promise. I'll show you that later. And the rest of it is just fairly standard Japanese text, caution. Okay, so it's a bit zoomed in, so forgive the slight blurriness. But let's look at the interchangeable parts. So as you can see, it comes with 3 interchangeable heads, as I've said in the when I look at the manual, as well as these 4 interchangeable heads. Let's look at the heads one by one. Now this is by far my favorite head. It's very, my red hands changing the hue of the camera. This is by far my favorite head. Very Mark Ruffalo, I think. Fairly well painted. Some slight shading. Love the paint in the eyes, although I think the eyes should be green. And it has this buzz cut haircut that he had in the movie, even though he just was in the movie for like 3 seconds before Thanos beat the shit out of him. That's how the head pegs on the body. I'll show you how that works later on. This is like the grimacing angry face. Again, fairly nice head sculpt, though this slightly departs from Mark Ruffalo face. I think this is closer to the comics than Mark Ruffalo, but still nice. Nicely molded teeth, nicely painted eyes, although yeah, it should have been green. Not too bad at all though. Now the last head is also a nice nice head sculpt. This screaming face. I mean, all in all, this is very good. It's very nice. And all the paint is been painted. No, changing hues again. The paint has been cleanly applied. I can't really comment much in terms of negative things about the paint. Really like it. Okay, now looking at the hands, come with two open fist hands. As you can see, like, I wish they painted the fingernails, but they did sculpt them. And look at those veins, so nice. Yeah. And they don't suffer from like sausage fingers like other figures do. These ones are fairly well sculpted and well proportioned. I think that's how it pegs on hand. I'll show it later on again on the arm. Sorry. And these are the fist. Yeah, still same, fairly well sculpted, well proportioned. Can't complain too much. Right? Yeah. One small gripe. I wish he came with like a flight stand. Although I don't know. Might take a very hefty or very sturdy flight stand to accommodate the Hulk, but you know he is fairly mobile, and he is although he is fairly heavy as well. But yeah, I wish he came with a flight stand. Okay, let's look at the figure himself. Okay, so before we look at the figure in detail, let me show you how to put on the alternate parts. So barbell joint there. Can you please focus there? Barbell joint. That peg hole there. Just pop it in. Barbell joints on both hands. Also simple peg hole there, so pop it in. A bit harder on camera, but what can you do? Pop it in. There you go. All satisfying snaps. So that's Hulk fully formed. Focus. Yeah, so let's look at him in detail. Let me just raise my camera a little bit. Yep. Yep. So we looked at the head. It is again really nice. Focus. Head sculpt, I think. Focus. Why are you not cooperating, camera? There you go. Nicely painted head. Nicely sculpted as well. Adam's apple. Sculpted nipples. See, matte green painted body with the black shading, bringing out the muscular details. They didn't paint the inside of the joint, but I don't think that's too bad. There is a bit of gapage depending on how you pose it, but yeah, I think it's a trade-off between like posability and sculpt. If you ask me, I go with posability. If I wanted smooth sculpts, I'll just buy a statue. Yeah. Anyway, going down, look at all those sculpted veins, really good. We looked at the hands earlier. The color match is very good as well. Not unlike the color matches we've seen on the Marvel Legends Hulk. Nice casual pants. I like the casual pants more than that Avengers uniform thingy. Torn pants, although I wish they went for like torn lower pants. And unlike the other Hulks in the Marvel Legends, the sculpt is goes all the way down to the lower leg, and it's not just like painted, so it's nice. Going down the feet, there's not a lot of shading on the feet. I don't know why they just left the feet unshaded, but okay, do a lot of sculpted detail though. The pegs, as you can see, they're not painted. but no, it's not too bad as well. Then the feet, again, nicely sculpted. From the back, it's the same. Sculpted, lots of sculpted details, lots of shading, at least in the main pieces. Now the other gripe that I had was, remember how I said that this warning is less of a warning and more of a promise. If you look here, nice matte paint, but all the parts where the pieces meet in the joints, there's the paint is less matte and more reflective. That's because the matte paint has rubbed off. So you'll see them mostly there on the abs. You'll see some here as well, depending on how you pose it. And I like to pose in extreme poses, so yeah. And here in the shoulders. Not much in the rest of the body. Okay, do. I mean, it's a small price to pay, I think. Now let's go over the articulation. So the head will go down and up. So there's like a joint at the lower neck and two joints on the upper neck, so you can actually look all the way up and all the way down, which is good. It also has a good range side to side motion, which makes him a lot very expressive. And then of course you can go all the way around, but yeah, I just leave it goes all the way around. Okay, go on. Yeah. The shoulders, they have this butterfly joint, which works fairly well. Has some gappage at the back and this overhang, but again, posability over sculpt. And then inside here, there's another barbell joint. So again, lots of motion in the hand. So you can go with those like hunched over gorilla poses and things like that you can't do with a normal Hulk figure. There is no upper arm swivel, so there is some limitations there, but I mean, in terms of range of motion, this is about the same range of motion that a normal person would have, so I don't mind. Double joints on the elbow, although it just goes to 90 degrees, which is a bit of a bummer, but what can you do? He is a bulky figure. And then ball joints in the arm, of course it can go all the way around. It has like, I think it has a barbell joint there as well. It can go down that much in that joint, and then back that much. It can go side to side as well. It can go all the way around. No, not all the way around, but it can go that much. I don't want to rub it too much. And then at the bottom joint, you can't twist it nor pivot it, but you can bend it forward. And then there's this cover, which is good as well, although there's this cap. So if you combine both joints, it will go that much down, that much up, and just a little side to side. On the lower leg and on the upper leg, it can go that much forward, that much back, which I think is enough for a Hulk figure. I won't complain too much. If it was Spider-Man, then it's different, but this is Hulk, so yeah. Swivel here that goes just that much. Double jointed knees that go a little bit over 90, which is good. And then on the feet, you can't swivel the feet that much, but you can pivot it. You can go all the way up, no, all the way that much up and down. And then there's a toe joint. So between all those joints, you can pull off a lot of very nice poses. So that's not nice, but that's something I can come up with in 30 seconds. Yeah, fairly dynamic piece. Okay, so let's go through some comparisons of some figures that I have, so that you know how big he is relative to other lines and other toys. Okay, so let's go through some comparisons, but before that, let's just see how tall he is. He is about 8.5 inches tall, which is fairly standard, I guess, for a Hulk that is in the 6-inch scale. Let's go through the comparisons itself. Two random comparisons. Here he is with Part of Prime's Dreadwind and the distinguished gentleman Cogman. Okay, get out of the way, Cogman. Now, here he is with, again, not very related, but DC Multiverse Armored Batman and 112 Collective Batman. So that's how he fares with these two. So if you have these, you know how big he is. Another unrelated comparison, just because here he is with Daisy Ridley. I mean, these Black Series figures are fairly small, even if they're 6-inch scale. Compared to a Marvel Select, I mean, I know Venom might not be a good comparison just because he grows big and small, but if you have like Marvel Selects, this is how he fares with them. Now I don't have my Marvel Select Hulks, they're all in the Philippines, but they tower over this guy. It's like 9 inches, 10 inches, I think. Don't quote me on that, I don't have them on hand. And here he is with one Hulk that I do have here. Here he is with the Hulk from the Marvel MCU 10 years 2-pack with Hulkbuster. And as you can see, man, this one is a lot better than that one. I mean, I don't know, yeah, it's miles better. In this one, the proportions are not that good. Posability, yeah, it doesn't compare. The color is bad. Even this face I don't like, but even the original one that I did have with a more muted face still doesn't compare. Yeah. And like I said, color match. See how the color of the chest piece is different from that. They use different plastic. This one is sturdy, this one is rubbery, so yeah. And just so you know, here he is with Hulkbuster, and I think that's a perfect scale, man. I don't know, I think that's perfect. Let me know if you want to see a review of this guy. I mean, if you've probably seen that a lot of times, and he's been released multiple times. But if you want a review of this guy, the 2-pack, let me know. And then here he is with Paul Rudd. Again, nice scale. Although, yeah, Paul Rudd's supposed to shrink and grow, so scale doesn't matter. And here he is with the other Mark Ruffalo figure I have, the Lego Mark Ruffalo on a scooter. Okay, so final thoughts. If you ask me, he is the definitive Hulk. If you own like a 6-inch scale collection of Marvel figures, I think he fits. He fits whether you put him in a movie lineup or in the comic book lineup. I think he looks good either way. Just maybe change the face, put this in a movie lineup and put that one probably in a comic book lineup. But anyway, either way, like I said, I do have my gripes, the gaps in the sculpt, the sweaty parts, the rubbed off parts, I mean. But yeah, I think it doesn't detract from the figure too much. I think I've owned this figure for like, I don't know, maybe 2 months now, and I still pick him up every so often, bring him to work, just to pose it. Yeah, he's a really nice figure. Yeah, so this has been Grim Trigger, and this has been the review of the Marvel Avengers Infinity War Hulk from Bandai Tamashi Nations. So if you like the review, please do like, share the video, subscribe, put a comment in. I reply to almost every comment if you have any questions. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a good night.